to my channel. It has been a minute since I have done a reading vlog, a vlog, anything to do outside of just doing a read with me video or kind of a sit down video. Between June and July, it was a very crazy few months. We had a lot of good things and a lot of bad things, and as I said in my reading wrap up, which was my last video, there were a few things that happened that kind of left me in a little bit of a funk. I ended up actually traveling for work, which was really great. That was at the end of June, the beginning of July, but then when I came back, unfortunately, my cat, my first fur baby, my first little love, ended up getting really sick, and unfortunately we had to make the decision. I had to make that decision of putting her to rest, and that kind of pretty much threw off my entire July, and I just really wasn't focusing very well. So it was definitely a lot of ups and downs the last few months and a lot of healing. And so yeah, so we're back. Yesterday was my birthday. Yesterday was August 2nd, and it was such a wonderful day. Our daughter ended up, my husband and I's daughter of course, stayed with her grandparents over the weekend, and so we were able to go and take a little small trip and go to one of our beautiful lakes and bike around it and get coffee, and it was such a wonderful birthday. I had so much fun. It was definitely laid back and relaxed, and today I have off. My birthday falls on a weekend. I always take that following Monday off to just give myself a personal day to go and do what I want, and today we are going to go book shopping. We're going to go look at the books. We are going to go to a few different bookstores if I'm able to, as well as I'm hoping to also run to the bookstore after work and before I pick up O from daycare tomorrow, because there is a new book release that I really want that's coming out on August 4th, because I had to look at the date and I thought it was today, but it's not, it's tomorrow. Also want to get a new Lego set. So we're gonna get going. I do have a little bit of drive because I have a Barnes & Noble gift card and I want to go use that. So yeah. As well as a few other locations. It has also been a few days. I ended up getting a few books, not as many as I thought I would get. Usually I always go in with this idea that, you know, I'm gonna get whatever books I want for my birthday, but the problem is that I'm picky, and I look through my wish list and I read the synopsises, and at the end of the day, a lot of the books that I put on my wish list, I'm like, I'm just not feeling them anymore. So I ended up leaving, I think, Barnes & Noble with just 3 books. So let's show you the few books that I did get from Barnes & Noble as well as my local indie bookstore. And the first book here was one that was actually recommended to me by one of the Barnes & Noble booksellers. I always love when I go into Barnes & Noble or even my indie bookstore, love asking for book recommendations. It helps me get out of my reading comfort zone. It helps me find new books that I never thought I would really enjoy, and it's actually how I found quite a few 5 stars this year. So the one that was recommended to me was The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. From what the bookseller told me, she said that this was kind of like the original cozy fantasy, and I was like, original? And then I look, and it actually was first written in 1968, and then it had a new introduction added in 2022. When I read the synopsis of this definitely sounded right up my alley. So it says, the unicorn lived in a lilac wood, and she lived all alone. So she ventured out from the safety of the enchanted forest on a quest for others of her kind. Joined along the way by the bumbling magician Schmendrick. Schmendrick. And the indomitable Molly Grew, the unicorn, learns all about the joys and sorrows of life and love before meeting her destiny in the castle of a despondent monarch and confronting the creature that would drive her kind to extinction. When the bookseller was talking to me about this, she was so passionate about it that it just really sold me. Then the next book wasn't a book recommendation, but it was from another YouTuber who talked about this romantasy series in her reading wrap-up, and that is The Road of Bones, and this is by Demi Winters. This is the Ashen series. I honestly don't have a lot of books that focus on Viking and Norse mythology, and so this one sounded interesting. This one is a woman fleeing a ruthless assassin accidentally joins forces with a group of mercenaries and must use all of her cunning to escape with her life and her heart intact. Honestly, I've been in the mood for just a really good romantasy, so I did pick up this one. And then the next one was a new release that I just picked up. It was on my list because I am a sucker for any book that contains Hades. And this is Dearly Departed. This is by Chip Pons, and this follows our main character Hayden, who actually was Hades, except he's been disgraced from like Olympia and he is now pretty much living as a mortal. He runs a funeral home and he ends up having an issue with one of his flower orders, and he goes to the flower shop like, you know, about ready to blow up at the florist, and he ends up meeting the florist, and there is a little bit of romance involved, hoping that it lives up to its expectations. And then the book that was 2026 anticipated release of mine is part of a very popular series, and it is Adversary to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. This is the fourth book in the Assistant to the Villain series. I am a little nervous, and here's the reason why. Loved book 1, thought book 2 was great, assumed like many other people that book 3 was going to be it, read book 3, was not impressed. I honestly felt like this is a series that should have been just a trilogy, but the author was kind of using the book 3 as a filler, and I was not happy with it. But this is a series that I really love, and I really kind of wasn't interested in the ending of that one. We were left on a very classic cliffhanger that made me feel like, you know what, I'm gonna try book 4. We'll see how this one goes. And then another release that I actually saw on Book of the Month that I had actually was planning on getting through Book of the Month, but it literally sold out so quickly. And then when I went to Barnes & Noble, and they were also sold out there, like they said that this book is extremely popular, and that is Everything Was Beautiful and Nothing Hurt, and this is by Ben Reeves, and this is also like a personification of death. So Travis is death in the modern world. He lives with his cat in a small gray town. His job is to offer people comfort in their final hours of life, which he does without complaint or judgment. He's stoic, gentle, and a little naive despite who he is, but he never tries to change anyone's fate. He's responsible for maintaining the balance of nature. Every life must eventually end. Then Travis meets Dahlia, a midwife, and her boisterous 8-year-old daughter, Layla, who lives across the hall, and despite his best attempts to keep his distance, Travis finds himself wholeheartedly embraced by other people for the first time. So it is with this seemingly unremarkable family that Travis begins to understand what it means to truly live, and therefore what might be irrevocably lost in death. I'm so excited. It's always very interesting to see how authors handle something that is so scary to people and not taboo necessarily because it happens to every person, but it's, you know, it's a very hard topic to cover. So those are the books that I ended up picking up in the last few days. And then I figured I would show you a few other things that I got for my birthday because I am so excited about them. So besides reading, I have a few other hobbies. One of them is anything artsy. I love painting. I like drawing. Usually I do a lot of realism drawing. It's something that I've done since I was really young, and I think I'm fairly good at it, but something that I've really been enjoying lately is coloring again. And I've been really liking the Coco Wyo coloring books. So I did get a new Coco Wyo coloring book. I got the Cozy Corner collection, and yes, because I was impatient, I already started coloring. So I did color the cover of the coloring book, which I think turned out super cute. And then I also tried the neon effect, which I think I did pretty okay with, which was a lot of fun. It was very interesting to do. And then I also got Coco Wyo's How to Draw Patterns. It's all about having fun. I am fairly good at drawing patterns, but I thought that this would just be a fun one to kind of try out different patterns on. I do have an old set of alcohol markers. I have the Copic alcohol markers. I ended up getting them when I was in university. So I actually did pick up this is like the basic alcohol markers from this company, but it's a very popular one. It's a lot cheaper than Copic, but they are the Ohuhu alcohol-based art markers. Now this has a bunch of different series. This is just the basic art marker. This is an alcohol marker. Their most popular ones are the Honolulu alcohol markers. Those ones are like their more professional ones. They're a little expensive, and I'm like, I have Copic markers. I have the big sets of those ones. Those ones are already really expensive. I just want some with a little bit more vibrant colors. And then another big hobby that I love doing, and I don't have a lot of them because of the fact that this hobby is a little bit more expensive, and that is the Legos. And my mom ended up actually getting me one Lego set, and I bought another Lego set. So the Lego set that my mom got me was the Lovebirds. I'm so excited about this one. And then there is another new Lego release. I think this one released maybe in July, I can't remember, but I had my eyes on it, and it's very cool. It is the Autumn Cottage Garden. And I'm like, oh my god. I just love it. I don't know if you can see, but right there is a little gnome. He's a little gnome. I love it. I also have been wanting to get Lego sets to decorate my shelves with, but my goal is to collect a few more Lego sets. They're just really expensive. My goal one day, my dream, is to own the Lord of the Rings Lego sets. I'm just very happy. So I don't know. I'm either gonna color or I'm going to read. I just don't know which one yet. So whatever I choose, you'll see it in a second. Honestly, coloring is probably one of my most favorite, like, mind calming activities. You can put on like a TV show in the background, you can put on an audiobook, you can just have silence, you can be outside, you can be inside. I color differently. I do like to be really creative with my coloring. I've always been that way. I've always really liked intricate details. This was a fun one, and I did this one, as you saw. I did the kind of, I don't know, like the cement, the cracked cement with the flowers and everything. That one was a really fun one to do. And then I also colored this cute little patchwork one with the duck. That was a lot of fun as well. Today I'm also feeling kind of doing another cozy activity. So I was planning on just sitting down and reading. However, you know, I do have a few Lego sets that I am able to do, and I was gonna do my big one, but I think I'm gonna hold off on my autumn one until it's a little bit closer to fall. So I think I'm gonna do the Lovebirds Lego set. This one's just so cute. It's still summer outside, so I think this will be a fun one. I'm currently reading 2 books, and one of them is Sword Heart by Tegan Fisher. Really enjoying this one. However, I can't read a book and do Lego at the same time, or build Legos at the same time. So while this one is really enjoyable, I do own the physical copy and the audiobook of The Gate of the Feral Gods by Matt Zinnemann. This is the 4th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I am loving this series. It took me a few books in, but now I'm really enjoying it. This is the only series that I actually also have the audiobooks for, and the reason is that the audiobooks enhance these books like so much more. Like I feel like I'm getting more out of the audiobooks than sitting down and reading them, and Jeff Hayes is one of the best narrators I have ever had in the very few audiobooks that I have listened to, and I've listened to very few. What I do when I have the physical book and the audiobook is I kind of tandem read them, or I go back and forth where I'll listen to the audiobook when I'm out and about, and then when I'm at home I read the book. But because I want to build Legos and everything, I am going to listen to the audiobook, and I am at chapter 13, 200 pages so far. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna listen to the audiobook and we're going to build our lovebirds here. Alright, so I am wrapping up this kind of doing cozy things, celebrating my birthday reading vlog. I wouldn't call it a reading vlog. It was literally me doing cozy things, and one of those cozy things was a reading. I absolutely love how that Lego set turned out. I loved where I put it because I put it in a romance shelf, of course, and it fit so perfectly. I had to do a little bit of reorganizing for it to fit in that spot because it's almost 12 inches long. And also reading wise, I did get quite far in The Gate of the Feral Gods by Matt Dinniman. I ended up at page 370. 380 actually. So almost done. I don't have the next few books, so I'm probably gonna have to go pick those up at some point. Definitely let me know in the comments below a hobby that you really enjoy doing besides reading. And also if you like videos like this or my read with me videos that I'm starting to do more often, definitely subscribe to my channel. I will see you in my next video. Bye.